What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And boy, I miss you guys, and I can't wait to get into another reaction today. And today, you already know your boy's on that catch-up flow. There's a lot that I haven't seen yet from Dr. Bob, so I found this one that piqued my interest. It looked like the juicier one out of the bunch. So this one's going to be SCP-2535, Printers That Eat and Eaters That Print. Like, yo, they're already trying to mess me up with that title, but man, this seems like it's going to be something a lot more sinister, hopefully, from the thumbnail and just the title. It sounds obscure, so I'm really excited to see everything that this SCP is about. And from Dr. Bob, he doesn't miss, so I'm excited to see how he actually makes this in an animation. So with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed this reaction, please help the channel out and help your boy out and smash that sub button. You already know the vibe. If you're not even new, you should already hit that button regardless. Come on, you know the kid. But if you are new, I make reactions to this all the time. And I might dabble into other reactions too on the channel. Just let me know some of the ones you might want me to, check out. That's similar to what I have reacted to in the past. It could be anything really. You guys know my taste. So without all out the way, man, I'm excited. So smash that like button, smash the sub button, and hit that bell so you do not miss an upload. With that being said, without any further ado, let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-2535, Printers That Eat and Eaters That Print. Lego.
A face screams in terrible agony. In the darkness, you can't quite make out the shape of its body, but it doesn't look human. It's large and square, almost boxy.
Square?
Two things you should know. This is a fate worse than death.
Is it the printer?
And it isn't the only one. It's a busy but ordinary day in
Did that dude turn into a printer?
Hangzhou, China. People are rushing to and from work, going to school, going for walks, buying a hot meal and a cup of tea. But for one young police officer, this is a monumental day.
First day?
He has been assigned the biggest case of his career, and he grips the stack of files with sweaty, trembling hands as he considers the weight of this moment.
Oh no.
It isn't just one case, not really. It's actually six. 6 separate missing person cases that he's beginning to suspect might be connected. Our detective wishes he could take a moment and transport himself away from these harrowing missing person cases and clear his head. But while he's unable to, we can. Thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends.
I knew it.
And now, back to the case at hand. The detective was beginning to suspect that the 6 separate missing person cases might be connected. At first glance, they seem unrelated. The victims have very little in common, except one thing. They all worked at the same office. An office that closed 1 month ago, a casualty of international corporate downsizing. No one from his police department has bothered to look into this angle, assuming that it will lead back to more dead leads. But the young officer can't shake the feeling that there is important information waiting for him.
And that's crazy, they're downsizing in the SCP universe. That's telling you a lot about what's going on in the world. Honestly.
In that abandoned office building. So, after finishing up his lunch and dabbing the nervous sweat from his brow with a handkerchief from his pocket,
Come on, man, you got
he sets
this.
off toward the old office building in hopes of cracking the case wide open. As he makes the trip, he considers some other possible theories. Maybe the missing employees skipped town, overwhelmed and depressed from their unexpected job loss.
All of them?
But would they really let their families worry like this? Some of them have wives, husbands, children, all of whom would notice their absence and assume the worst. No, this isn't a simple case of a group of colleagues all vanishing to blow off steam in another city somewhere. Something bad happened. He can just feel it. Maybe they uncovered corporate secrets, and someone decided to silence them before they could blow the whistle. But then again, what sort of secrets would be worth killing for at a printer company?
Illuminati?
It feels worthless trying to guess, trying to fill in the gaps in his knowledge with wild speculation. The only way to find out was to examine the building for himself and see if he can find any clues at all that lead him to the whereabouts of the missing 6. When the young officer reaches the building, he finds the door padlocked shut. Luckily, he prepared for this and brought some industrial-strength bolt cutters that snap the lock into pieces with very little effort.
Okay.
Why lock up the building like this? There can't be anything valuable left inside. To prevent squatters, most likely, he assures himself, brushing off the sense of dread creeping up his spine as he walks inside. As he crosses the threshold of the empty office, the first thing he notices is the smell. It reeks of sulfur and bleach, and a whiff of something electrical that stings the inside of his nostrils with each breath. New possibilities turn over in his mind. Perhaps some sort of deadly workplace accident claimed the lives of the missing when they came back in to collect their belongings and clear out the building.
I mean, they would see the bodies though. It's not like they just shut the building without checking if there's any bodies. Plus, you'll smell the scent of dead bodies.
Before he can decide if that theory holds any water, his thoughts are interrupted by a piercing scream coming from a nearby room. The officer isn't alone here. There's someone in the building with him, and they sound like they're in trouble. The officer grabs the taser from his holster and runs toward the sound. He skids to a stop, nearly knocking over a water cooler when he reaches the source of the screaming. There's a man hanging from the wall, screaming over and over again. The officer can barely process what he's seeing. The man is covered in machinery, all whirring and clicking as it works. Next to him, a printer is printing sheet after sheet of paper, and all the while, the man screams. The officer recognizes the man's face from one of the files.
Is it printing out his skin or something? Like, is it like eating him?
This is one of the missing employees. He can't determine what is causing the man such distress, and he tries to ask the man what happened to him. The man just continues to scream.
You think he's gonna just talk to you right now? Like, he's going through something heavy. Like, he ain't just gonna stop, pause, relax, and tell you, hey, I'm just getting eaten by a printer, guys. It's nothing big. Come on, bro. Like, let's be for real. He's not gonna even, he probably isn't even acknowledging you. I'm pretty sure he's getting eaten too.
Eyes wide open and wild, rolling around in their sockets, unfocused and unseeing. The officer grabs the man, attempting to remove him from the wall, but he won't budge. It's as if his body is wired into the wall itself, and the harder the officer tugs, the more it appears as if the man's flesh will begin to tear away.
Uh-oh.
The officer stops, turning his attention to the machinery. Perhaps if he unplugs it, he'll be able to remove the man more easily. He starts with the printer, and as he reaches for its plug, he gets a closer look at the paper it continues to spit out. It doesn't look like any paper he's ever seen.
It's his body.
And, unable to help himself, he reaches out to touch it. It's warm, soft, pliable, and nauseatingly familiar.
Skin.
It isn't paper at all. It's skin. In that moment, all of the officer's training falls out of his mind, replaced with blind terror. He runs from the building as fast as he can, all the way back to the police station, where he tearfully informs his captain about what he found.
You do not get paid enough to be doing any more than you did. Call backup now.
This is no longer a police matter, his captain tells him.
SCP
They need
matter.
to escalate this to a specialized organization. The young officer is sent home, placed on psychiatric leave, and the next day, the SCP Foundation investigates the building it will come to refer to as SCP-2535. SCP-2535 is a former two-story Hewlett-Packard branch office building in the Jiaoshan district of Hangzhou, China. The building's anomalous nature is characterized by the presence of a detailed network of electrical and biological components of unknown origins. The walls of the building's entire first story are covered with 63,512 USB 2.0 standard A sockets, placed in a grid pattern made up of 20-centimeter semi-regular intervals. Each of these sockets is connected to wires running through the walls. But these are no ordinary wires.
What?
They consist of a woven mixture of copper strands and human optic nerve tissue.
Yeah, I was about to say, that does not look like copper. That looks like a human being.
All wrapped in a layer of keratin. In spite of the inclusion of organic material in their structure, the wires have not shown any signs of decay or deterioration since the Foundation discovered SCP-2535.
Because it's alive.
This curious, off-putting mix of the technological and the biological persists throughout the location, and only gets stranger as one moves deeper into the building. If one were to follow the path of these wires, going against their better judgment and the scream of their most primal instincts, they would find that the wires lead to a room on the building's second floor. The room is currently inaccessible, but is thought to have once been the server room. Whatever is blocking the door is large enough that it cannot be budged, and non-intrusive imaging has determined that it is some sort of biological mass. The inside of the former server room, like the wires that lead there, emits heat at a consistent temperature of 47.6 degrees Celsius. Foundation personnel who approached the room have reported a persistent smell of sulfur and ozone coming from inside, as well as the loud sound of a running printer. 317 of the USB socket and power outlets in SCP-2535 are connected to HP brand USB 2.0 compatible devices. Of these devices, 20 have displayed anomalous, potentially ectoentropic functions. But what exactly does that mean? Allow me to elaborate. Just
please.
remember, you asked for this. Don't blame me if you aren't able to stomach the details.
Oh, yo.
There are 5 former employees of the Hewlett-Packard Hangzhou branch still located inside of SCP-2535.
Okay.
These employees are in an anomalous sort of status, requiring no sleep, food, or water, in spite of their continued, seemingly endless consciousness.
So it's not really eating him. Because if it's endless and they're eating him, he should run out of, obviously flesh for them to eat. So something else is going on.
Since the building's discovery in April of 2013, they have not changed in any way, or at least not in any visible way. All attempts to remove these former employees from their, let's call them predicaments, have proven unsuccessful. Allow me to discard any euphemism and explain just what exactly became of these unfortunate workers.
Thank you.
First, there is Gua Pingping, the former branch manager.
That name is just funny, bruh. Gua Pingping.
He can be found in the bathroom near the receptionist's desk on the first floor. Goa's head has been forced into the feed tray of a DP DeskJet 1112 printer, which is plugged into the wall. This is troubling for a number of reasons, one of which is that the internal dimensions of this particular DeskJet model's feed tray are not large enough to accommodate a human head, and its components are not strong enough to crush a human skull into a shape that would fit. Nonetheless, Goa's head is firmly lodged into the feed tray. One would assume this would have killed him, but his body continues to move, kicking and thrashing about as if he is in pain. The former assistant branch manager, James Gu Yonggun, is located in the employee pantry on the building's second floor. His body is attached to the wall in a vertical position, held there via 92 20-inch USB 2.0 M-M cables. 5 additional cables have been used to secure the actuating unit of an HP DeskJet 2540 all-in-one printer.
This looks like something from Saw. Yo, what is going on with these guys? And they're all in different predicaments. That's interesting. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think, who's in the worst situation out of this, SCP?
To Gu's lower jaw. The arm of the actuating unit is also attached to a single HP-10 original ink cartridge in the color black.
What?
This ink cartridge is attached into Gu's throat at a continuous rate of 1 stroke per second, and in defiance of the known properties of ordinary ink cartridges, has yet to run out of ink in the years since its discovery.
Oh my god.
Gu appears to be partially conscious, but is unable to communicate intelligibly when addressed. The former Human Resources Department head, Angel Lee Hui-min, is still in her former office on the second floor, though she no longer performs the duties of her old position. She is still, in a sense, in human resources, or rather, is a human resource.
Oh my god.
I apologize. Sometimes I have to make a joke to cope with the dark subject matter at hand.
That was a good one, though.
But Angel's fate is no laughing matter. Like Gu, she is attached to the wall via a series of USB cables. There is an additional cable, one of unspecified length, inserted into her lower abdomen, which is slightly distended, as though filled with a foreign object.
Oh my god.
Though a proper analysis has not yet been conducted, the variety of sounds and motions originating from the area seem to indicate that there is a fully operational HP USB single-station thermal receipt printer lodged near her small intestine. As a consequence of this, a never-ending stream of thermal receipt paper is pouring from Angel's mouth at all times, causing her considerable pain and distress. Wang Liang, the former head of the IT department, is permanently placed near the water cooler on the first floor. Like the others, he's bound to the wall by several USB cables, 37 to be exact. There are 12 HP ScanJet 200 scanners pressed against his body, all switched on and running at all times. Next to him, an HP DeskJet 1112 printer is attached to the wall and constantly printing out sheets of something.
Are they like scanning his body and the printer's just printing out the pictures that these printers are scanning that's on top of this guy?
A closer inspection reveals that it is not paper, but rather sheets of skin. He is conscious, but no successful interview with Wang has been conducted due to his nearly constant, wordless screams of agony.
Jeez.
The 5th human subject found in SCP-2535 is Chen Yupeng, who once worked as a trainee technical writer. Now he spends his days in the branch manager's office on the 2nd floor of the building. His body has been wedged into the paper tray and backup paper tray of an HP LaserJet Pro 500 multifunction printer, which has been plugged into the wall via a standard power cable and a 3 feet USB 2.0 M-M cable. His head sticks out of an aperture, cut into the side of the printer. The printer itself functions normally, printing copies of the HP Standard Print Quality Diagnostic page and the HP LaserJet 500 Technical Repair Manual, alternating between the two.
What the
Since
heck?
SCP-2535's discovery, it has not run out of either paper or ink. Chen himself is unconscious and shows signs of severe blood loss that, under ordinary circumstances, likely would have resulted in death by now. During a preliminary inspection of the building, one Foundation operative discovered a Canon Pixma E480 printer in the first-floor janitor's closet.
What's going on there?
This printer was dented and heavily corroded, most likely from the application of liquid bleach.
Don't tell me a human being is fitting within that printer, because that's a little too much, bruh.
And was also covered with human teeth marks. It has spent the most recent several years attempting to print a 91-page document, but has been unsuccessful due to an apparent jam in its paper tray and feed mechanism. The seams of the printer occasionally ooze human blood, which DNA testing has matched to Yan Xiaoxia, former creative consultant of the Hangzhou
What,
branch.
is she inside or what?
SCP-2535 must be
Bro, I need some more detail about that situation, because that one might be the most messed up.
sealed away from the public under the guise of health and safety concerns. At least 2 agents are to be stationed in a nearby building at all times for the purposes of observation. Wherever possible, the inside of SCP-2535 must be soundproofed. All material generated by the building's anomalies must be collected and disposed of on a daily basis.
Ew.
So far, these containment measures have been sufficient to keep civilians away from SCP-2535. As far as the friends and family of the missing employees know, their loved ones were never found. It's better that they think of them as lost or dead, rather than learn what truly became of them. As I was poring over the file for SCP-2535,
Crazy.
something curious caught my attention. This is not the only anomaly cataloged by the SCP Foundation concerning a branch of the Hewlett-Packard Corporation. I considered leaving well enough alone, but I've never been particularly good at that.
Oh yeah.
When another path presents itself to me, no matter how dark or foreboding it may
Let's see
seem, I cannot resist the urge to see where it will lead. In this case, the path led me
To SCPs.
SCP-2211.
Okay.
SCP-2211 was a collection of 4 anomalies discovered in the Shanghai offices of Hewlett-Packard. Notice that I said was rather than is. More on that later. First, allow me to describe the nature of each anomaly. SCP-2211-1 is a 932 megabyte video file titled simply longsmile.wmv. When played,
What?
the video depicts a pair of lips on the right edge of the screen. The lips hold a closed-mouth smile for a moment, then open to reveal teeth. At this point in the video, the camera pans to the right, revealing more and more teeth, seemingly forever.
That's creepy.
Though the length of the video file is listed as 55 seconds, testing revealed that the file will continue to play, revealing endless, maddening rows of teeth for more than 150 straight hours.
What?
It will possibly run even longer than that, but testing was through before that could be seen. The video has no audio track.
That chick watched a pair of teeth for 150 hours? How much are they paying these researchers, bro?
When longsmile.wmv is played for longer than 59 minutes and 20 seconds, the device used to play it will begin to secrete a small amount of human saliva. A sample of saliva was collected for DNA testing, but the results were inconclusive and did not match any known human being on record. SCP-2211-2 is a 2.0 megabyte audio file entitled
79.
EYEE-79.wav. Each playthrough of the audio file is different, but tends to contain bursts of modulated static that go on for 2 to 10 seconds before being cut off for around 0.3 seconds of silence at a time. Like Longsmile, this file can play for a seemingly infinite amount of time, in spite of its listed length of 3 minutes and 3 seconds. When SCP-2211-2 is played for longer than 59 minutes and 20 seconds, the device will begin to secrete a clear fluid, identified as a mixture of water and sodium chloride, amino acids, glutathione, ascorbic acid, and human collagen fibers.
So it's different from the
Essentially,
last fluid?
the device will begin to leak human tears. SCP-2211-3 is a 599 kilobyte file
'Cause it
titled
was a I?
r.exe. When this file is run on a computer, it uses up a great deal of memory, causing the device to overheat and its built-in fans to speed up.
Bruh.
In spite of the overheating and any damage it might cause, the computer will continue to run until disconnected from its power
Oh yeah,
source.
I'm definitely deleting
When the
that.
file is run for longer than
That makes sense why it's not even affiliated with this SCP anymore. But the other two,
59 minutes and 20 seconds, air coming through the built-in fans will begin to emit a strong smell of earwax, though no physical traces of earwax have been found.
ew.
SCP-2211-4 is a USB adapter-powered coffee reheater. When it is plugged into the USB port of a computer,
Doing too
any
much.
liquid placed into the container will be heated to approximately 65 degrees Celsius and will also transform into human mucus at a rate of 1 milliliter per
Okay.
minute.
It makes sense why these SCPs are not existent anymore. I would have destroyed them.
This effect is the same whether or not the computer is on. DNA analysis of the mucus revealed that it is a match with the saliva produced by SCP-2211-1.
Oh, but not the tears?
All of this would have been bizarre enough, a series of files and devices that produce human biological material and are seemingly all connected. But something else happened. All instances of SCP-2211 were kept in a pair of containment lockers. However, on June 10, 2014, this containment was breached. I have included a surveillance log transcript that captured the incident. It occurred as follows. Sound of banging metal detected near second floor of Wing B. Door of small item containment locker DAD-2838 is heavily deformed outwards and has experienced a heavy impact from its inside. The sound of banging metal persists for the next 3 minutes as the door of containment locker DAD-2838 begins to burst outwards.
What is going on?
Security teams are deployed to cordon off the area and manage the situation. Containment locker DAD-2838 is fully breached from the inside when a segmented humanoid arm emerges, extending to reveal numerous joints along its length. Security teams begin opening fire on the arm to little effect. While the video feed shows that the arm terminates in a 7-fingered hand, personnel present on the scene reported a number of fingers ranging from 5 to approximately 30. The arm repeatedly strikes and breaches the containment locker containing SCP-2211-4, approximately 5 meters from containment locker DAD-2838.
What's DAD-2838? Is that another SCP?
Subsequently reaches for SCP-2211-4 and pulls it back into containment locker DAD-2838. No further activity detected. Arm presumed to have dematerialized. Following this incident, the containment locker was examined, but no traces of the many-fingered arm were found inside. Further examination of the locker's contents revealed that SCP-2211-1, 2, and 3 had vanished from their storage media. The files were gone. SCP-2211-4, when tested, no longer displayed any anomalous properties. It was just an ordinary coffee heater.
Wait, whoa, we need some more information about what's really going on here. Because this seems like an entity that could take away SCP anomaly powers. Yo, I really want to know more about it, because if this is a real thing, that would be a cool concept. An SCP that could take out SCP powers from other SCPs. Imagine using that on, like, the Old Man or the Indestructible Creature. That would be crazy, because they could literally let him take the indestructible creature and then spit him back out, or, open the locker and find him just being a normal creature, and then you could possibly terminate him finally. If that's a real thing, it could be just like a random thing because the creature, whatever it is, DAD, disappeared.
Though no staff wanted to use it to heat their coffee, no matter how many times it was washed.
Drink?
Head researcher Min declared SCP-2211 uncontained on August 10th, 2014.
Wait, hold on.
But there was no staff wanted to use it to heat their coffee, no matter how many times it was washed. Head researcher Min declared SCP-2211 uncontained on August 10th, 2014.
But what is DAD? Okay, if you guys know, let me know in the comment section below, because I'm curious, is this just like a item that was affiliated with SCP and they just classified it as DAD? Because that was legit something, and I want to know what it is.
But there was one more unusual finding. The USB drive that once contained SCP-2211-1 was not empty. There was an untitled text file on the drive. When opened, it simply read, "Got my nose," followed by an unusual text emoticon, ::00, end parentheses, end parentheses. As a man of science, one who has devoted my life to exploring the unexplained and seeking answers to questions that most are afraid to even ask, nothing troubles me quite like a mystery left unsolved.
Yes.
But the tales of these Chinese Hewlett-Packard offices are composed almost entirely of disturbing mysteries, of frayed wires and broken printers, of survivors that cannot tell their stories, and messages we will never get to read. What happened after that Hangzhou branch closed? Was it connected to the findings at the Shanghai branch? Did that mysterious arm grab hold of the Hangzhou team, contorting their bodies into unrecognizable shapes and forcing them to meld with the products they once sold? Or was it once an employee too, broken down into spare parts and trapped as files and desktop beverage warmers? I can't be certain.
I didn't even think about that. That could be a possibility. It could be an instance of the original SCP-2535. And these were human beings. Makes sense of the mucus and the tears. But if that was the case, why is their DNA not found anywhere else? Because the DNA of the ones in 2535 in the building, it matched those victims. So if that was the case, the saliva, mucus, tear should match a said victim. And two, the DAD anomalous, whatever entity that is, how would that be affiliated with? I mean, it's so random, it could be, but like, we need more information, and I don't think we will, because this is a whole mystery and a half. But god damn, this is cool.
But I do know this. I'm throwing out my printer. I think I'll just write my notes by hand from now on.
Oh yeah?
I won't necessarily suggest you do the same, but do be careful while handling the machinery. Treat it with respect. After all, you never know if that printer was once as human as you or me. Check out the Dr. Bob...
Bruh, that is nuts.
And watch another entry from the files of Dr. Bob, like SCP-2128, The Liar's Cradle.
Oh, his printer is talking. Yo, that was actually kind of cool. Honestly, I think that one was pretty dope because one, it kept me on the edge of my seat, and two, there's so much mystery that this SCP has. I thought the last one was just bonkers, like just ridiculous or random, but this is more so like random but a mystery behind it that has substance that could kind of tie it together, but like not really there. And I really want to know what that DAD, whatever number it was, what was that? Or like, what does the DAD stand for? At least that, if you guys know that in the comment section below, because I'm curious, bruh. I'm curious. Man, this was good. I'm glad I reacted to this one. If you guys enjoyed this reaction as well too, and you guys are as intrigued with this SCP as much as me, smash that like button, and also let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love to hear your guys' take on this, because it was a juicy one, man. So with that all out the way, I hope you guys all have a phenomenal day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.